If you didn't know, you can't call Penguin Oswald Cobblepot anymore, or you're gonna get hit with this.
You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
If you didn't know, the showrunners changed the name of Penguin from the comics, and fans got something to say about it. We're gonna go over it here in a second, but first, let's go over where this came out from, how it came out, and really it's nothing that's even online. I couldn't find a direct link to it or a direct article, but it's actually from a magazine from SFX. Someone clipped it. And most fans are reacting from different sources. It's not one particular source. I know Discussing Film made a tweet on it and they had the information. There's also someone that posted yesterday, which is from Comic Book Cringe. That's the one I'm gonna go off and we'll read the snippet there and then we'll go over some fan reactions and then I'll give my thoughts on what I think. Let's get into it. All right, so we got the tweet from Comic Book Cringe, and he says, well, apparently the name of Oswald Cobblepot has been deemed too unrealistic for the Reeves-verse. It says, this is from the producer, one of the producers of the show. It says, they never got around to changing the names in the comics like they did with the Riddler. Going from Edward Nygma to Edward Nashton, from an unreal name to a real name, says producer Dylan Clark. By doing that, they grounded the character. We had a lot of conversations with DC Comics and with Jim Lee, president, publisher, and chief creative officer. They had thought about changing his name at some point, but had never done it. Matt asked, can I call our character Oz Cobb? And Jim said, absolutely. So we got a blessing from the king himself. That small change of the name allowed us to look at this character in a grounded way. Fans immediately began reacting to that, and even in that tweet itself, we'll go over some of the comments and what people have been saying, but to say the least, an overall reaction of it has not been very nice. There's been quite a bit of backlash, especially on Twitter, which tends to be commonplace, right? All right, so let's go over some of the reactions on Twitter and what people are saying, because the backlash is real. We got the first person on here, J Productions PR1. He says, grounded. It's a rich dude who dresses in a bat suit. Who gives a F? Benji 777TM on Twitter says, Raw, we need to finally bury the sentiment of adopting cape shit into forms that are deliberately anti-cape shit. The 2000s should not be our permanent curse to bear. And then we'll read one more from the original tweet. We got CRSCNDLLS. He simply states, this is effing stupid. So they're not feeling it. And then we have some retweets. Most Crucify says, I love how they tried to replace a goofy name and somehow made it even goofier. Name Oz Cobb. We got Shipro stuff. Oz Cobb is a much weirder name than Oswald Cobblepot. Oz Cobb sounds like he's a villain who dresses up as a corn cob and commits farming-based crimes. That one's actually kind of funny. We got the Cartoon Loon. How is Oz Cobb more normal than Oswald Cobblepot? That literally sounds like an actual name. The F are they doing? Which I don't think that's what they were saying. And then we have this guy here, Emo Art. He just put Oz Cobb and then a gif of Walter White trying to shoot himself in the head. Yeah, so the backlash is real. It's there. It's online. We'll probably hear from it. There's other people, other sentiments as well, of people just kind of complaining in general about, understandably coming at it from the angle of the fact that you're taking this comic book property and it kind of feels like you're not respecting the material, you're not respecting the creators that made it. It just kind of feels like a slap in the face to the fans that actually read the comic books. So I understand that point of view, or at least where those fans are coming from. But I have thoughts on this of my own, and I don't agree with any of these fans, and I'll tell you why. My thoughts is, for one, I feel like it's the same energy that Matt Reeves has always had. These producers have always had with the Batman and the property. They've kind of held this sentiment for a long time. Even before we got the first trailer, I think Matt Reeves had said something along the lines of that he wanted to make a more grounded take and that he wanted to be more realistic and he wasn't into the fantastical stuff. It's part of the reason why he's not part of the DCU. Matt Reeves refuses to do so because he doesn't want to go into the fantastical. So he's held this belief from the beginning. So I don't know why people are acting like they're shocked or like it's some big old thing, or it's like, where you been? Where you been at this whole time? Like, okay, now you're upset because of a name change. Really? Okay. It's It's like when people tell you who they are, believe them. He told you who he was and where he was coming from the whole time. Did you not believe him? And now you want to get all upset about it? My second thought on this is that if Jim Lee approves, I approve. Like I am nowhere near as big of a fan or knowledgeable in all this stuff as Jim Lee is. And even Jim Lee, at least from what they're telling us, is the producers of the show are telling us, is that DC Comics was going to change the name anyways, and they simply just asked if they could do it first, and Jim Lee gave his blessing. If Jim Lee gives his blessing, the guy that's in charge of DC Comics, why are you complaining? And I'm pretty sure any of the other creators, they're not mad about it. So why should you be? So finally, overall, just in general, like my final thought on it, just bringing it all together, is that it's all kind of an overreaction. It's not something that's going to change the show. It's not going to make it any worse or bad. And that's a criticism that some people have of the name change in general. Like it feels useless. And it's a weird name to begin with. Or it's a weirder name than originally, but who cares? Like it's not gonna do anything as long as the show's good and the plot stays true. What does it matter? I'm gonna say something a little controversial here, but I think sometimes comic book fans they need to chill. Like chill out, bro. The comics aren't like the holy Bible. They don't need to be followed. Like even the comics diverge and do different stuff all the time. Like it doesn't need to be, it's not this serious. Like let these creators have the freedom to do what they need to do to make a good property. And if they felt like that's something that got the creative juices flowing or that made them feel good about what it is that they were doing, then that's completely fine. But like I said, I understand the sentiment of where they're coming from. Like it feels like a slap in the face to something that they love. But I guarantee you, most of the people complaining, they probably never even read like a full Penguin comic book before, and those are probably the loudest ones complaining. If I were to guess, if that's not you, then good for you, I guess. But either way, it's an overreaction. I'm excited for the show. I'm gonna still watch it. I don't think it's gonna hinder anyone else from watching it. Most people in the general audiences don't care. A lot of people are not gonna care. You shouldn't care. I don't care. We all don't care. Just another forced backlash from a small group of loud people that's unnecessary. I think the Batman's too good of a movie and a property from the Matt Reeves verse for people to pass up on. I don't think they're going to pass up on it just because of a simple name change from Oswald Cobblepot to Oz Cobb. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like if you can. Leave a sub. I'm trying to get monetized as fast as I can so that I can get some better equipment and hopefully push out some better videos for you guys. Hopefully that comes soon. I'm pretty far away, but hopefully maybe by the end of the year I can get there and then get some better equipment, better camera, better microphone here. So I do appreciate you guys watching and making it to the end. I'll catch you guys on the next video.